as we speak right now, there's some sort of vigilante issues going on and all the rest. My concern is about we seem to be a Christian nation. When you hear these reports and all the rest of blah, blah, is it the failure of Christianity? That these are the same people who go to church, they are the same people who tithe. When they move from the church, the attitude is different. Fighting among themselves, getting guns, getting cutlasses, and all the rest. Is the Christian community failing to influence our flock when it comes to these things?
I wouldn't say that. And then number two, how do you prove that these people go to church? And what church do they go to? We have different churches in this country. We have different churches in this country. So I think we have to be very careful where everything we say Christian is the fault of the Christian, is the fault of the church. The church has failed. The people go to church. And why is people this? Why are people that? You know, it's all petty. You know, the church has done a lot for this country and we can do better. And what we need to do is to shine the light. We need, the weakness of darkness is the appearance of light. So we need more light, more education and more light. And when light comes, it expels darkness. And some of the things that happen, it's all the work of darkness. It's ignorance. Because if people have light, there are some things they will not do. So we just need to have more churches, more light. And the more we spread the light and people get to have light and get to see the light, definitely there are some things that people will not do.
What is the advice of the Christian community and even from you in trying to deal with these problems that are going on? Not mentioning any names, but that the fact that there's a call that we should move on these things and let's have peace, total peace within that space.
I don't think people really are ready for an answer to the question you've asked me. Because I'm an African and I travel all over the continent. And what is happening here is not new to the continent. Just look at what's going on in Nigeria and what's been going on in Nigeria for some time now, and the state that nation finds itself in, and many other African countries. I think that the politics and the party politics of our country must be revisited, because the level of division and hatred and anger and bitterness in our countries, not just Ghana, in Africa, it's scaring and worrying. It's like hatred you just can't understand, and you are compelled to take a stand. You either belong to party B or party A. You can't be neutral, and you are compelled. And we are dividing families. We are dividing husband and wives. We are dividing siblings. My church is divided. Communities are divided. The nation is divided. And if we don't revisit the way we're running our politics as a country, not just Ghana, but Africa here, to do something to save the nation and to stop the bleeding, because our nations are bleeding. Most African countries are bleeding. It's hemorrhaging. And it all has to do with the way our political parties is structured. And if something is not done, in a few years from now, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. If you look at how Norway structured their governance after the Second World War, they had a national coalition, brought people from all the political parties, from labor, stakeholders in the community, business and religious leaders, and they formed a national coalition with a national agenda. And they ran it for 40 years. They are out of the hole, out of poverty. Today, they stand tall, all of Europe. We need, eventually, to have a national coalition in Africa and make sure that every political party is represented, labor is represented, religious community is represented, our traditional rulers are involved, and let's have a national agenda that we all work towards for a period of 20 or to 25 years. No every 4 years election. Let's work on the national agenda. It will unite us. It will stop this hatred. It will stop this vindictiveness. It will stop this bitterness. It will stop this thing. You wait till I come. I will show you. You showed me. You showed my people. Wait. When we also come, we will show you. It's killing us. There is no continuity. The foreign community don't trust us anymore. Because anything you establish with one government after 4 to 8 years, you have to now make your way to go and
start the whole process again.
You have to renegotiate, start all over. There is a problem in the continent, and something is going wrong.
Do you think that having the national agenda could be the solution to, because at the end of the day, I mean, in political science club, they tell us that opposition parties or political parties' aim is to capture power. Do you think that having that agenda could deal with these vigilante issues that are going on?
Yeah, having a national agenda and then having a national coalition, because no one political party has the remedy or the prescription to our problems. We need to have everybody come together. Let's work together. Let's get the private sector, the business community. Let's even get the army to be represented. Let's get our traditional rulers, the religious rulers, labor, the youth. Let's get everybody on board and bind ourselves with a national agenda. 20, 25 years, we are going to work this national agenda. When you go to a place like America, it doesn't matter who your president and your party is, because their national agenda has been institutionalized. You can't fool there. I mean, look at what they are doing to Trump. They will deal with you. The systems are solid, so you can't mess with it. We are young in democracy. Our systems and our structures are weak. And if we don't do something and put the nation first and not our politics, because our politics is becoming very deadly now. I mean, it's like you are in office. I'm in opposition. My assignment, stand up, let me show you something. My assignment is to hold this leg. Try and go. Try and move. I'm holding your leg. Try and move. I won't let you go. You won't accomplish anything because I'm holding your leg. When I finish with you and you are out and I come, you also hold my leg.
Okay.
Hold my leg.
Okay.
You also hold my leg.
Yeah, Papa.
So I'm trying to move.
No.
I can't move because you are holding my leg. That's what we are doing to one another. So the nation is not going anywhere. We are not accomplishing anything because when I get into a position, my assignment is to hold your leg.
That's not good. And that's what
But that is what is killing our continent.
if we get that agenda, we'll get over this.
We have to get the agenda, but the agenda must be formulated by a coalition of people from the different parties. You can't leave that agenda to one party. All the parties must come together. We must all agree. How do we want this nation to become? What kind of a future do we want for our children and our grandchildren? Let's put it all together. We all sign, we are all bound, and we say that, okay, all the parties will form a coalition. We are all working together. And so maybe leadership every 5 years, this party will produce a president for 5 years. Then another party produces for 5 years, 25 years. We will just work it that way, and we are working together and pushing the national agenda. So I don't have to pull your leg, and you don't have to pull my leg. So there is nothing like, I'm hurt. You have offended me. So just wait. I will do everything to sabotage you. And when I come into office, I will show you where power lies. Then you also say, okay, come show me. You will also, your day will also go. And when I come, and this thing is dividing us to a point, I'm watching something. My father was CPP, and my dad used to talk to me about Matimu and all that. I've been watching CPP, UP, now MPP. I'm watching something. It looks like the same demons that for the fathers are fighting the sons. And if we are not careful in this generation, we are transferring that bitterness and transferring that hatred to our kids and to our kids' kids. And so those who don't like me, for whatever reason, they tell their kids, watch this guy and watch his party. And I now also tell my children, don't trust this guy and watch them. So we are suspicious of each other.
We know these things. And I bring the argument about Christians taking the leadership role and all the rest. But we know all these things, but it appears committing ourselves to it is the problem. Are we ready for it?
We will be ready. Events will happen. We are getting close. And I'm predicting, by divine authority, after 2020 going, if things don't change, there will be an uprising, a civil uprising on the continent of Africa. Mark it down. You see the Arab uprising, there is a wind coming to Africa and to West Africa. It's coming. And if something is not done, especially the youth, look at our car wash areas. You see 10 youths who have graduated from university. They don't have a job. They are washing cars. And sometimes 10 of them will wash one car. And the whole day, all they will do is to wash 2 cars. And they are sitting down there. They have no job, no hopes. That is dangerous. Because a time will come when they can't take it anymore. They will be uncontrollable. And at that time, the danger here, which is more dangerous than the army, is this. When you are dealing with people who have nothing to lose, it's very dangerous. When you are dealing with somebody who doesn't have a wife, he doesn't have kids, he doesn't have a bicycle, he doesn't have anything. He's sleeping in a kiosk, opposite a very wealthy community. And he sees all these wealthy people. Some of their children are their friends. They went to school together. Some of them didn't have much. They went into politics, and suddenly they are living this beautiful life they can't have. And they see this happening every 4 to 8 years, every 4 to 8 years. A day will come when they will be tired and can't take it anymore. And they will not mind dying.
But has this influenced your getting back to your first love? My auntie tells me those days in universities when we're all over the country, coming over to preach to them, the campaign, and focusing back again on the youth. Because we've seen you getting back, and she always tells me about that is your first love.
Yeah, I'm going back to it.
This has influenced that?
I'm going back to it because they are the future leaders of tomorrow. We need to give them hope. Without these young men and women out there, there's no future. We don't have a future. It doesn't matter how well we as fathers do. If we don't help these young men and women out there, there is no future for us.
Your final word to fellow Christians, or even at the national level, to everybody out there watching us, what's your final word to them?
Jesus said to love the Lord thy God with all your strength and your might, and to love thy neighbor as thyself, and to do to others what you want them to do unto you. If you love your neighbor, you won't covet your neighbor's goods. If you love a friend, you won't hurt them. And I believe that the key here is, let us have the love of God in our heart. Let the love of God reign in our heart. And let's have love, and let's have compassion for one another and for others. Let's live a selfless life. Let us not insist of being right. And I will say something I say to the church all the time, that I have learned by experience that to be kind is better than being right.
The love revolution should go on.
We have to show love. If we are true Christians, he said, by this shall all men know that ye are my disciples, if you have love one for another. And it doesn't matter what I say, how much faith I have, how much knowledge I possess, how much I pray or I can fast. If I don't have love and compassion for others, I'm nothing.
Papa, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it so much for your time. And have a very good evening and a good day.
Thank you.